Here's a basic introduction to proc capability. So suppose I want to just get some information on a couple of variables here. X is a categorical variable and income is kind of continuous. And so I want to get this histogram of X. So what I've done is I've gone through and put a bunch of options on these graphs so you can see. Let's see if it'll run. The basic proc capability in here gives you all kinds of basic information similar to a proc univariate procedure. It'll give you a lot of different statistics. But then the main point of doing it is to get the cool graphs. Now I've just put some interesting colors on here just for fun. So you can see that there are all kinds of things that you can do with it. I made the actual histogram green, and the lines around it are black, and then the percent is red. And I also put midpoints in here, 1, 2, and 3, because the values of X are 1, 2, and 3, and I wanted to make sure that those were the labels down here on the X-axis. And then you can see how I did the C text was red, that's the text around, and then the lines for creating the bars of the histogram were green. And then the next thing I did is I made this QQ plot of income, and this is a much nicer QQ plot than the one that proc univariate gives. And I made the axis blue and the text was violet, but then the actual values that it plots are by default a little plus sign, and you can change that by typing plus right here, or by saying G options reset equals all at the beginning. And then I'm going to make those stars green, so that's how it plots out there. And then you can see the square is blue, but then the word income and these values are violet. That's maybe a bad choice of color, but you get the idea. And here's another thing you can do if you want to impose, say, a normal curve on top of your regular histogram. I've done that. The first thing that I've done is I've done this G options reset equals all. Otherwise, my C bar line would be green. In other words, the line that draws these the bars for the histogram would be green still, but I got rid of that. And then the other thing is I made the color equal to red, so the normal curve itself would be red, while the actual plot, the actual lines for the histogram are black. So you can see that here. There's that red imposition of the normal curve, and then the histogram is still black. So I guess while one main purpose of proc capability is to go ahead and explore your data at the beginning of your analysis, another thing that you can do with it is you can analyze your residuals after you've already run a model. So suppose I've run a proc GLM and I've got a model here, and then I'm going to output the residuals in a new data set. R is the SAS keyword, and concept is it should probably be blue, and then I'm going to put resid as my personal name for the residuals. You can call it something else if you want. And I've got predicted values and say studentized residuals. And then the idea is I want to run an analysis on the residuals to see if they're indeed normally distributed. I can go ahead and do a QQ plot. If you want actual statistics, you can also use this normal option. Again, it ought to be blue, but it's not. Just use that option, say, even if you don't name the data set, say you just put normal here, but I want to be a little careful. And then the variable that I'm analyzing is the residual variable that I made in this new data set. And then I can just run it, and it'll give me Shapiro-Wilk tests as usual. And then it gives a nice little QQ plot. It's a little bit nicer than the proc univariate QQ plot. And, you know, if you want to, you can compare and contrast the two results that you get with the proc univariate var resid. And I'm going to see if the Shapiro-Wilk values are the same. So, see, that time it turned blue. I don't know. So then I get the Shapiro-Wilk value of 0.5545 from the univariate, whereas it was 0.554 with the Shapiro-Wilk. We're just missing a decimal place with that prop capability.